Hi, good night, everyone. How is everybody doing? So, if you guys are on, just let me know if you're hearing me, seeing me properly. My earphones always does not want to stay in my ear for some reason. But we're here live, so say hi if you're on, and happy Thursday. I'm glad to have whoever is watching right now. Tonight is going to be a very, very nice and exciting show, especially as just last Saturday was World Mental Health Day. And for me, that is something that is so important these days. And I'm so glad that it is something that people are becoming more aware of, especially in this time of the pandemic. Because, a lot of the times mental health is kind of shoved to the side. People kind of more focused on their physical health. And there's always such a stigma related to mental health. And if you say that you're not having the best of days, if you're suffering from stress and anxiety and these things, so I'm really glad that in these times people are putting a lot of emphasis on mental health. And so that's why tonight is a very special show for us to kind of address some of these mental health issues and talk with a person who used her journey to overcome and even to go a step beyond and find a way to not just help herself but help other persons deal with mental health issues. So let me just give a little background about the person that I have on tonight. Okay, so Herbarn Teas is a local tea shop that gives you access to all the best organic herbs and teas that provide healing properties. The mission of this online tea shop is to create premium, tasty, and organic herbal teas and tisanes that soothe and promote a good health and well-being. Herbarn Teas was born after the founder, Mrs. Jemmimah Wilson St, someone prone to suffering from anxiety, thought of something positive she could share with others during this very stressful time. In this regard, Jemmimah's focus has been to study herbs and natural remedies that reduce anxiety and stress. The output of her research has been the amazing tea blends that are now available to anyone and everyone in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, so let me see if I could bring on Jemmimah. And bring her on with a little bit of music. Hi. Welcome, Jemmimah. Oh, are you guys hearing her? Hearing her? I'm getting a slight echo. That's as sure. Oh, hi, there's people saying hi. Hi, Andra. Hi, Ajay. Thanks for joining.
How about now?
Perfect. Sounds so great.
Okay, good. Great.
So good night, Jemmimah. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good night. So nice to be here and thanks for having me. I'm so excited to share with you and to just have a chat.
Yeah, I'm so
Share with
excited
each
as
other.
well. I'm so excited
Yeah.
as well. So let's just get right into it,
Yes.
Jemmimah.
Okay.
So, what has been your experience with anxiety? Was it something that you were dealing with for a long time now, or is it something that came on during the pandemic?
Well, I've definitely been dealing with anxiety for a long time. I would say maybe when I was in university, so maybe when I was about 18, that's when I started noticing.
Yeah.
But strangely enough, when I started having issues with anxiety and I would share it with my mom, she would tell me that when I was very little, I used to show signs of separation anxiety. So, like, I would have like crazy crazy moments where I would just cry if she's not around. Like
Oh,
specifically my mom, I was really attached, and I would just cry so much if I didn't know where she was. Like
right.
it would be okay if I knew, but if I didn't, I would just cry so much. And so she said, like as a child, I would show signs that I might have anxiety, but I really didn't have issues until I started university, and I remember having a really bad panic attack.
Hmm.
And then I started to really think about it, and I realized that, hey, I'm really suffering from anxiety.
Right.
But it was only when I had to move back to Trinidad and readapting, because I was studying abroad,
Mm-hmm.
um, when I had to readapt to life here. It sounds crazy because I mean I lived in Trinidad all my life and
Right.
I was just there for a few years, but readapting was really difficult for me to the point where I thought about seeing a therapist at a point,
Right.
actually getting therapy for my anxiety. So it's not just because of the pandemic.
Right.
I've been dealing with this for a very long time, and different situations would trigger it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I do have times throughout my day, when I would have to deal with anxiety, but when it's really serious, it's a trigger. Something happened, or I'm pushed against a wall, and I have to figure out how to get out of the situation.
Right.
So it goes from severe to
To
mild.
mild, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I totally understand that. And
yeah,
for me, it was a little because I knew you for so long, and I think I only knew maybe a few years ago that
yeah,
that you were dealing with anxiety, and it was surprising to me because I know you to be this positive, cheerful, energetic person, and always positive outlook,
yeah.
and I didn't realize that you were dealing with something like that as well. Because for me, my anxiety, I can't remember if I really had it when I was younger. I think I noticed it more towards my late teens, early adulthood, but I still didn't. It wasn't that severe.
Right.
Only when we got married, when my husband and I got married, well, Darian, Darian,
Yeah.
got married, and I told this story, I think, on one of your lives before, and I couldn't remember the name of an actress. And I made him go outside. Well, Wi-Fi was a new thing then. I made him go outside and walk down
Yeah.
some blocks to go and get the
Wow.
Wi-Fi from the restaurant nearby to find out, because I couldn't sleep just because I didn't know, I couldn't figure it out. And then I started having panic attacks as well, and that was not comfortable at all. And I didn't realize that it was a real thing. I
Yeah.
heard about panic attacks and anxiety attacks, but I didn't really think that was something that really happened. But it was happening to me, and I didn't really know how to cope with it. So,
Right.
but did you actually get any like professional help like that?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. I For a long time, I kind of ignored my anxiety, and I said, you know, I'm from a group of strong women. They don't deal with these type of things. I should be able to handle it, that crazy mindset.
Yes.
I was quite immature back then as well, and not educated
Mm-hmm.
about anxiety. And the fact that, as you said, I thought it wasn't a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, Jemima, you need to figure out what is going on and snap out of it.
Right.
What is wrong with you? This is not real. This is make believe, you know?
Yeah.
So for a long time, I would ignore it. And so I didn't seek help.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I talked myself out of that because I told myself this is not something real.
Yeah.
So I talked myself out of that one time where I felt compelled to go, and I would just not deal with it, or kind of repress it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, which would probably make it worse in the long run.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. There was a
So that's how I used to cope negatively.
same. I think there's one
Yeah.
point I even said, I was like, if I could go, I mean, I didn't even know if a hypnotist would help. I was just like, even if I was like,
Wow.
maybe I
Yeah.
could go to them and I be healed or, something like that.
Yeah.
But so then this year with the pandemic and everything, did you find that it worsened?
Well, remember I was telling you about triggers.
Yeah.
Like the pandemic definitely triggered me, and I mean, I think the issue for me is that I'm a planner.
Mm.
So I plan to the T. So everything that I could control, I try to do it just so I don't have to deal with, a situation of the unknown,
Yes.
an uncertainty, so that I can keep my anxiety at a low, So my issue is that when drastic things like this pandemic, when they come, and having to adapt to this new context, this new environment where everything is so different from what I'm used to,
Yeah.
it triggers you. And same thing with when I came back to Trinidad, having to adapt to something like really big, something significant. That's when my anxiety is definitely triggered. So this year has been really tough for me, and I mean, I had to transition. It was a transitionary year as well.
Yeah.
I just got married last year,
Woo-hoo.
so this is my first year of marriage. I was supposed to be moving abroad. It was just a time where a lot of changes were supposed to happen, and then bam, this big change happened that messed up all my plans.
Right.
So I started to feel really anxious, and like a panic attack was coming on.
Yeah.
One of the days earlier this year, and it was in that moment that I started to say, I need to find something positive to help me with this issue with anxiety.
Yeah.
And
I could
yeah,
relate to that because I thought I had it under control to some extent until the pandemic
yeah,
happened. And again, it happened at a time where um, my husband had to go off to work for a week away from us. My daughter was sick for the same week. So, of course, that triggered. It's like, okay, does she have it? Was I exposed? And for the first 2 weeks that it happened here, I could barely function. I was
yeah,
just, I don't know, I couldn't focus. I always felt like my chest was just feeling like tight. And
yeah,
you were hearing that these were some of the symptoms of the coronavirus. And
right,
so that would just like make it a cycle because you think that you somehow were exposed and you're dealing with it, and that would send the anxiety up again. And for 2 weeks I really didn't know what to do, and I had to do different things. I had to put on meditative music for me to even go to sleep. I had to write down things to tell myself.
yeah,
I would watch something. I had to stay away from the news and from the chats because everybody was feeding you with so much information, and
yeah,
you would just find yourself going to bed and you know thinking about it. But it's so important to really know your triggers and to really have those type of tools to help
yes,
you with it, especially if you're prone to anxiety, because I really think that over the years my anxiety just got worse, and the condition and polycystic ovarian syndrome itself, you deal with anxiety on a daily basis like that.
yeah,
So and any of those triggers would just make the matters worse.
intensify it.
Yeah, it does. So
Yeah.
but okay, so you said you spoke to your mom about dealing with your anxiety. Was there anybody else you shared it with, or did you really try to keep it under wraps?
Well, remember I was saying that I kind of ignored it for a long time.
Yeah.
When I educated myself about it, and I realized that hey, this is a real thing, and a lot of people struggle with it, and there are some things you can do. At that point, I started to share with my mom, and then share with my family. So it wasn't just my mom who I lived with at the time. I would share it with my family, and Shay was my boyfriend back then. We weren't married yet.
Yeah.
And, although they knew about it because I shared with them that, hey, you might think I'm flustered and fussy and irritable and restless all the time, but guess what? There's a name for all those things. So, I mean, I would then share it with them and educate them on it as well, but I still felt like they didn't really understand.
Yeah.
So I felt really alone, really isolated, like, oh my gosh, nobody truly gets me. Nobody really understands what I'm going through. They're listening, and I could tell they want to understand, but I could also tell that they
They
don't
can't.
really
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. I had that experience with my husband as well, because he's a pretty
Yeah.
go with the flow person. I'm a planner, not to your extent, I don't think, but I like to plan as well. But because of his nature and also his
Yeah.
job and whatnot, he kind of just, if today fall tomorrow or
Yeah.
whatever that saying is, he's usually
Yeah.
okay. But like if a little change kind of derails me most of the time, and he really does try to understand, but the concept of anxiety and ruminating on little details of things, it just he really can't.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah, he don't get it. He doesn't get it.
Yeah.
So okay, so tell me, so that was the inspiration for your business. So tell me how that transition was.
Okay. So when I got triggered this time, because in other previous times, when I got educated on anxiety and what would help, I started meditating and trying different things, and I would integrate it into my routine, but I would always end up like forgetting, and then the cycle just gets disrupted and I don't do it anymore.
Right, yes.
It was really hard for me to stick to meditating every single day and using that app. I had an app called Headspace at the time. But so I tried other things, and then this year when the pandemic really hit Trinidad, and things were really different and we had to adapt, I was at home at the time because I was on vacation from work. The end of my contract, another transition. You see, so many transitions.
2020.
So I know. So I'm on my end of contract leave, and I started saying, okay, I'm not going to be drinking 10 bottles of red wine to calm myself, doing all those negative coping strategies. I'm not going to do that. People are doing it and making it seem cool, and that's good for them. Everybody, they choose their way of coping.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's a good way, but I'm just saying people are making fun of those things. But this is so real. I had to tell myself, no, I can't do that, because I know that's going to make my anxiety worse. I know that I deal with anxiety, and I don't want to make it worse during this time.
Right.
So I started to do some research on herbs that help with anxiety, because I have a coworker as well who suffers with it severely.
Yeah.
And she was sharing with me about some herbs that she would use, right? So I started doing my own research, and I even got a book. This is Rosemary Gladster's beginner's guide on medicinal herbs, and basically she talks about how to grow it and use it, and how to use herbs to do different things,
So,
like to heal.
So her
heal your
her
body.
name is Rosemary too.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, perfect. So perfect. Yeah. So I started reading her book, and then I started doing my own research, because my job, my 8 to 4 job, I do research and policy, so I'm naturally a researcher. By profession, I'm a researcher.
Yes.
So I started doing my research, and it was like a dissertation for like months and, well, days, nights, weeks, months. I was just reading up on herbs, researching it, and just finding out how I could use herbs to heal me, to help me. And so it was out of that I said, hey, I mean, if it could help me, I know there are so many other people that I can help with this as well,
Right.
And in everything I do, I try to help to support, to encourage. That's generally who I am.
That's true.
So this business is just an extension of me being me, trying to help others with something I know that, is really difficult, really challenging, especially in this time, because even people who don't usually suffer from anxiety, they're suffering from anxiety
Correct. Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to cope because they've never dealt with it before. They
Right.
never had an experience like this.
It is.
So imagine that. Like,
It's
at least we
almost.
have an idea,
I know. I was just like, it's almost like we're the anxiety ambassadors now. It's like they just have Jemimah's, and yeah, she's walking around now. You know what I mean? And now we have to use
Oh
that
gosh.
experience to help it. So like, God just really works in strange ways
He
sometimes.
does. He does.
But
Yeah.
I just realized it's like we're talking a lot about anxiety, but you also have some blends that help with fatigue. Well,
Yeah.
okay, I say it's for fatigue and also for sleeping. And those are
Yeah.
two issues that women with PCOS also deal with, like fatigue, and we have trouble sleeping. Sleep apnea is very common with people. So I just wanted to mention that as well. I know you have teas but
Yes.
blended for that reason as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have teas. We have one called Serenity. That's the one for anxiety and stress.
Yes,
There's Vitality. That is for night. Oh, I'm having one too.
Serenity. I love that one.
I'm having mine as well. I'm having lavender tonight though, not Serenity. But lavender is one of the herbs in Serenity. So yeah.
Yes, I love lavender.
Right. I have Vitality. That one is for focus because I know women with PCOS, that's one of the symptoms. So
It is.
I mean, it would be really helpful. And then we have Sleepy Tea, and that one has 3 herbs that I've blended together, and it helps with quality sleep. It's not just going to helping you to sleep, but giving you quality sleep.
Yeah, that's important because when
Yeah.
I do try to sleep, but you can tell when you wake up in the morning that you didn't really rest properly. Yeah.
So yes, we have herbs for that.
So as you mentioned PCOS, so have you had experiences? Do you know any woman with PCOS? I mean, other than me, is it something that you knew
Right.
about before?
Definitely.
Okay.
Actually, I feel like PCOS is so common. I feel like in recent times, yes, the awareness has definitely increased.
Yes.
People are really putting it out there, women who have PCOS, but I actually, I've been aware of it for a long time because my cousin, who is like my sister because we're 2 months apart and we grew up in the same house. People thought we were twins. So she actually got diagnosed from very young as a teenager. So I felt like I was on that journey with her because I know about the body image stuff, how it affects your body.
Yes.
And as a young girl, that can affect you in so many ways, emotionally, psychologically, and I saw that, and she would share that, and it was frustrating for her because, I mean, as a young person, you already have so much going through your mind, and then you have
you're
this
transitioning yourself. I have to deal with that extra.
So it was really difficult, but I mean, she eventually coped with it, and now I think she's really good. She is managing well. So that's how I know about PCOS.
Well, that was really great that she had you as support because I would have shared in previous lives that I didn't really hear lots of women talking about it. It's only when I started to be more open about it, and that's only recently in the last few years is when I realized that I had friends, people who were close to me who were also suffering from it, and I didn't even know. So it's really great that she had that support in you. So, Mimes, I just want to address some of the comments that I saw. So I think when we were...
I didn't even see any. I can't.
I think so. Ajay is saying the same with men. Like when we were talking about the fact that we try to ignore it. He says apparently being strong means not having these things. So that's an important point actually, because it's not just women walking around with anxiety.
So true.
But I can't really think of any of my male friends or family that have actually talked about having anxiety, come
Yeah.
to think of it. So I think it's very
They
important to
probably
address.
don't verbalize because they feel like if they do, women and society would see them as less of a man.
Yeah.
Is the like just like the whole men don't cry issue,
Yeah.
anything emotional, dealing with your emotions. So
Hmm.
I guess a lot of them are walking around with anxiety and we don't know.
Yeah. Let me see. So Andra says to say to you, she's so proud of you. She's known you for so long and didn't know you were going through. Oh, oh no, I think she thinks you probably have PCO. Oh no, anxiety. What am I saying? Yes, she just thinks you have anxiety. So she says, thanks for sharing your experience.
Oh, thanks, Andra, for responding. And yes, I've
I
been
didn't.
dealing with that for
Andra
a long
actually
time.
is a coworker of mine. So I didn't really even know that you guys knew each other.
Yes,
Oh, so
for a long time.
So Darian is correcting me on his saying if Sunday falls on a Monday was he saying that I was trying to remember. So yeah, so that's him. If Sunday falls on a Monday, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dina is saying that she loves Serenity. So yes, I agree with Dina. I love that one.
And
Vitality is pretty
and
great as well.
Dina is not even a tea person, huh?
Hmm.
So tea people, imagine that. A
Yeah.
non-tea person is saying that.
I love
Yeah.
tea. I love tea. So this was when I heard this, that's like I was so excited to share. So okay, so
Right.
let's let people know. So tell us exactly how people can get in touch with you to get your teas, if they could, how they can get it, how they can order it, what are their options.
Wonderful. Thanks for asking,
You're
Yash.
welcome.
So I have a social media page here on Facebook. You can look for me, www.facebook.com/Herbarn Teas. Or you can go on Instagram and you can find me. My handle is at Urban Teas. Wait, it's urban underscore teas, just in case,
I know
yeah,
the
yeah,
underscore makes
yeah.
makes a difference.
Yes, it makes a difference. So Herbarn underscore teas. And you can find me there. Right in my bio on that page, you'll see a link. So to order, you just click on that link, let me know what you would like, and it's as easy as that. Once you submit that form, I would get it and I will contact you, because on the form it has like your phone contact, and I can get your info there, and then I'll text you, let you know I received your order, and within that week you will get your tea.
Hmm. Efficiency.
Yes. So there on the form it will tell you where I can meet up with you. I have meetup locations in South, East, West, and Port of Spain. So it's accessible, and I can also mail it to you by courier. It gets to your house in one business day for a small charge of $25. So it's very accessible.
Yeah, that's great. And I just wanted you to also mention to the people, I know that you have the tea bags, but there's also
Yeah.
another way that they can get the teas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can choose either tea bag option or loose leaf. A lot of people, they have steepers and they prefer not to use tea bags. Well, you can get it in loose form as well. And if you want to get loose but you don't have a steeper, I have steepers in stock as well. So you don't have to worry. I've got you.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that. Okay, guys. Well, if you guys have any questions for Mima, be sure to leave it in the comments so we could make sure and ask her before she leaves. So,
Yes.
Mima, so this is a question since it's PCOS related and women related.
Yeah.
What do you think is the importance of women supporting women?
Wow, we are better when we're together. That's all I have to say. When by ourselves, we can do a lot. And it might sound cliche, but it's true. We are women. On a daily, we prove our strength. We prove it every single day,
Yes.
you know? But when we're together, I feel like we could do more, because when you know that you're not alone, you have that extra motivation to get what you have to do done.
True.
You know that you have support, and you know that you have people cheering you on, and so you do it not just for you but for them. So that's what I mean by we can do so much more when we do it together.
Yeah,
You
I
know, it's
so
so
agree.
important.
I so
I
agree.
feel like we're as strong as our support systems, you know?
Correct, correct.
And
I'm so tired of dealing with these type of things alone. So I'm always so grateful for the women in my life. Like even yesterday, I was just thinking about women in general, all these women I have the privilege of knowing and in my life, and just in this time that is such a difficult time, I'm seeing them creating businesses, sustaining businesses, getting their health and fitness goals, being a support system for other
yeah.
women, rescuing and saving animals. Like it's just I was just in awe. And
Yeah.
I so agree with you. It's so important for us to support each other and we can really do so much more together.
Yeah. And you know, I was thinking before coming on to this live, I said to myself, you know, one thing that I would say the journey of having anxiety and the journey that you are on with PCOS, although at first it seems like something that's a burden, something that you wish you didn't have, like I call it a thorn in my flesh. I wish I never had it. But when I think about it, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have created this business that could help so many people.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have PCOS, you wouldn't have been sharing your journey and supporting and helping so much. So in that way, those thorns are like our opportunity to really fulfill purpose and
Right.
bring light and life and joy and just strength to so many people,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's kind of a blessing too.
Yeah, it really is. It's like using your pain for your purpose. I think I heard one of
Yeah.
my coaches say. And it's really true. It's like when you're going through it at first, you really feel like alone and you really wish that you could just snap your fingers and it would disappear. But now
Yeah.
that I look back on it, I'm like, I needed to do that. I needed to go through that journey to become the person that I am today. And I see that in you
Yeah.
as well. So, and I'm very, very proud of you. And I'm so excited. I love your product. And I really believe that not just the product, but you and just your positivity and your journey is going to help so many people. So I'm so happy and proud of you.
Thanks, Yash.
Mhm.
And I'm proud of you too.
No,
You know
don't
that.
don't get
You
all
know
emo.
that.
Don't get us to
No,
cry now.
no, we're
No,
not.
okay.
Yes, but I'm really proud of you as well and this platform that you have, and I believe that you're reaching a lot of people,
It's so funny.
and
You
it's so
say
important.
you say platform, and well, I'm still working on having a proper place to do these things. And right now, my platform is my daughter's diaper box because my tripod is still on its way,
Motherhood.
still on its way. So the setup is the platform is
Uh,
very
that doesn't
literally
matter.
funny.
It's your words, that's the substance,
Yes,
and
correct,
that's what
correct.
matters. Yes.
And the tea as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight, Jemima. Guys, she has shared how you can reach her and how you can get her product. They are really great, and I really believe that they will be helpful. I haven't tried all as yet, but I plan to. I've tried the Vitality. I've tried the Serenity. I have some sleepy tea to try, so I need to try that soon, and then maybe even do my own blends. So thank you, Jemima, for sharing. Guys, make sure and follow her page. Any questions, make sure and send her a message.
Thank you so much, Yash.
Yes, and remember, everyone, your mental health is so important. So take the time for yourself.
Yeah.
Check in with yourself. Check in with your friends. Make sure that you're taking the time to build a positive mindset. And even if you need to seek help, don't worry about it. We all have been there. We all, even if it just means leaning on your friend, on your family member, please do seek the help if you need it. Okay, so thank you guys for joining in, and please take care and enjoy the rest of your week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye, everyone.